I think if we are all honest, as cyclists, there are times where we've wanted to jack it in, like throw your bike on the ground and be like, do you know what, I'm done with cycling. And I want to talk about my experience of this because I am in groups on Facebook that are predominantly women, and I see it quite often where people are doubting themselves, women are doubting themselves. And I think that a lot of people don't actually share the times where they feel inadequate or like a really bad cyclist, or that they're not fast enough, that they're not quick enough, because we want to, you know, portray this image that we're like, you know, like strong women, that we're strong cyclists. And that's just not true. Everybody I know has times where they've doubted themselves and feel shit, to put it politely. So I want to share that, and then I also want to share some tips with you as well of how to overcome that. So the first thing I want to talk about is times where I felt terrible and wanted to jack cycling in and just basically just do something else. So the first time I ever rode my bike, I was thinking, oh my god, I'm so overweight, what are people gonna think, and all this kind of like stuff goes on in your head. You think, what are people gonna think about me? They're gonna think I'm, you know, I'm crap, like, oh, it's just really nerve-wracking. So that's the first one. Another time that I remember, I think generally whenever I ride with somebody new, you always have in the back of your mind, oh my god, what if they think I'm really slow? What if they think that I'm, you know, a really bad rider? What if I'm not, you know, what if I can't keep up? And I think that is something that every single cyclist, male or female, think about. Like, am I going to be quick enough to ride with this group of people? Some more specific actual incidents, I would say, where I've had real self-doubt. I've actually posted a few of them on YouTube because I want to be honest and I want to be open with people so that you don't feel like you're the only person that feels like this. So there's one at the Tour de Yorkshire a few years ago where we went out and it was so cold and snowy, and we decided to go anyway. It was like 160k I think, and it was just so cold, and I got so low on fuel that I just bonked, and I sat and I cried and I was like, why am I doing this? I don't want to be here, I'm cold, I'm hungry, why am I doing this? And so I had something to eat, and then miraculously felt quite a lot better. So that's the first major meltdown that I had on a bike. The second one was, I'm going to post these videos below so you can actually like see my pain. It was on Mount Teide in Tenerife. Went up that and it was that was so hot. See, I think it's the temperature. I don't do well with big temperature changes. Anyway, it was mega hot. Cycling up it, I got mega dehydrated and ended up just like laying on the side of the road. Well, not on the road, but like laying in the side of like a I wasn't on the road, it was on the road, but it was kind of off a side road, so there were no cars, so don't worry about that. So I was just like laid on the floor and I was like, I need a taxi back down, like I thought I was going to throw up, and oh, it was just awful, and I was like, why am I doing this to myself? And then a few weeks ago I was in Thailand. We were on our way going up Doi Intanon. We'd gone up it the main way, which was fine, and then the second time I went up the hard way, and it was hard. There's a reason why it's called Doi Intanon the hard way. And at one point I just remember getting off my bike and ringing my boyfriend Jane, just being like, because he'd done the other way and he was already on the way up, and I rang him just like sobbing like, I don't think I could do this, I'm not cut out to do it the hard way. And he was like, Katie, just have something to eat, have something to drink, and you'll be fine. And I feel like that is one of the main reasons why we get upset or doubt ourselves, is when we've not eaten enough and when we've not drank enough. So if you're ever on a ride and you're feeling like you are really doubting yourself, make sure you've eaten and drank enough. So that's a little tip there. The other thing that I was going to say is, if you are not struggling with cycling, if you are not finding it difficult, you're not pushing yourself. So for people that are out there like saying, you know, I've signed up to this event and, you know, I just think it's going to be too big for me, then good. That's a good thing. That means you're pushing yourself to the limit. And if you're not pushing yourself, then for me, I just think, well, what's the point of cycling? If I'm not constantly trying to get better and stronger and fitter and faster, then what's the point? For me, that is why I enjoy cycling, because I want to be able to push myself and be able to cycle further. So I think it is very, very easy to look on Instagram or Facebook, even on my Facebook, for example, or my Instagram. Like, you can see me like at tops of climbs, like, oh, I've just done this PB, or I've just done this, or I've just done that. And it's so easy to forget what it takes to actually get to that point, and the struggles and the mind games that we've all had getting to that point. And you just have to shut it up, as simple as it sounds, and remember that everyone has felt like that at some point. And yeah, I guess that's it. I want you all to share your experiences in the comments below about times where you felt like you've doubted yourself and then you've overcome them, and what you did to overcome, because this is a whole community thing, and this is not just me that has felt crap on rides and wanted to jack it all in. And I think it really does help when people are open and honest about it and talk about their struggles and talk about, you know, this happened, but you know what, I carried on anyway. And when I see somebody, I'm more impressed, I think, by people that are struggling to ride bikes than I do with people that are like, you know, almost like pro level, doing amazing times. Like, that's amazing. I think that's great. And I think if you're that fit, like, good on you. And yeah, I think that's great. But what I get inspired more by is when people like me, I'm inspired by how I started my cycling journey, because I was so bad and I struggled. And I think it's so much harder for people that don't naturally or aren't naturally good at cycling, just carry it on and just keep pushing and being like, do you know what? I don't care. I don't care if I'm the last one out. I'm going to push myself. And I am going to leave you a link actually to a woman that I spoke to. She basically, I'm going to leave you the story below. It's an amazing story and she's so inspiring and I just love her. It's basically a woman called Dawn. I've talked about her before, but she was overweight and she was doing parkrun, and she was always really worried about being the last one, and she was just like, do you know what? I'm just going to do it anyway. And she was always the last one, but her story is just so inspirational, and I just love her, like, her outlook on it and her view of it. And I just think we've all got something to learn from that, because we've all had these inner demons that we have to just keep battling and just be like, do you know what? It's fine. I'm doing my own thing. I'm pushing myself, and that's all you could ever do. So don't forget to leave a comment below and subscribe if you've not subscribed to get more content from my channel. And I think that's probably about it for today. So yeah, I will see you next video.